The dead don't stay dead in Appalachia, and this video might prove it.
And it was caught sitting, and then it just got up and ran. Each one, I can't process it. It's too beautiful and too fast. That must have been that snake that was walking next to Voldemort.
This basically means that what we could have bought for $100 way back when, we now have to pay closer to $2,000 for the same value. Inflation, which started in 1913. Well,
didn't they say in like the book of Revelations that like for an entire day's wage would be cost of one loaf of bread? So I'm not saying we're there yet, but man, at this rate. What's going on, Dark Waters 9 family? In today's video, we're going to be diving into all types of mysterious and strange videos, weird theories that no one can explain. Without further ado, let's dive in. Wow, take a look at this giant snake skin.
Oh, ขับงูใหญ่โตมันอยู่ได้ล่ะนี่หมุนปลามันสิเบ็ด
You ever seen that movie Anaconda with what's it called, Ice Cube and J-Lo? Yeah. This is what this thing is giving me. Look, he's got his fishing pole, so they was just trying to go fishing, and then this snake skin popped out of nowhere? Sheesh. That must have been that snake that was walking next to Voldemort.
The dead don't stay dead in Appalachia, and this video might prove it. This comes from a haunted Appalachian cemetery, and this person claims it's the spirit of a child. I believe it's a demon. It's not a child. Watch this. Tell me what you think.
Oh, no, you can see whatever this paranormal entity is rise up out the ground and start scattering. One more time, y'all. What was this? It was almost like it was sitting, and it was caught sitting, and then it just got up and ran. And its hands are together, whatever that creature is. That was crazy. What was that? This looks like a baby dinosaur. Oh, what was his name? Ducky from Land Before Time. The real life Ducky. I know you guys remember Ducky. Yep. From Land Before Time. Let's go. This is a real life Ducky, guys. How can you forget Littlefoot with the tree stars? Man, that was my jam back in the day. If you remember Land Before Time, yeah, we could be best friends. That feeling when you want to be cold and heartless, but being nice got you nowhere in life. But you realize that low-key that just isn't you. I feel that. You know, just being a mean person, you know, it just doesn't feel good. It just doesn't resonate inside you good, you know?
Why does he never fear being alone?
Because loneliness was the place where he met his strongest self. When everyone else walked away, he discovered that silence could become a teacher instead of a prison. He stopped depending on company to feel complete and started depending on character. Remember this, the person who learns to stand alone can never be controlled by the fear of being left.
Why does he never fear being alone?
Because...
What is that from? I would love to watch that movie.
I always say you gotta know the devil to fight the devil. You have to know your enemy. You don't have to engage in your enemy, but you have to know your enemy in order to battle the enemy. You don't have to glorify the devil, but you should know what the devil's capable of and it's ruthless, and that will help you armor up to fight him. I always say you gotta...
What's the word I always say? Keep your head on the straight swivel. Don't underestimate anybody.
do angels kill? I read somewhere a single angel killed 180,000 in one day.
That's the part of the mechanism in the Old Testament. They can, but they only do it when God tells them to do it. So in the past, the angels could kill entire segments of population, God permitting. You have to wipe out the adults because they're doing the evil and they're going to cause evil and you're going to get sucked into the evil. The problem is that the demons that are afflicting the parents are also start affecting the kids and get attached to the kids. And so even if you let the kids leave, you're going to have a problem with it later.
So everybody has to go? No, there has to be a different way. You thought demons were scary. Wait till you meet a pissed off angel.
Alcohol means body-eating spirit, al-kul in Arabic, hence why vodka is called spirit. Jinn is a jinn, which are invisible creatures in early religions. This is where jinx comes from. When you jinx something, it means bad luck because the spiritual planes is what they are hiding from you. They want you to believe everything is just physical. Jay-Z's alcohol brand has a Knight Templar symbol called the Cross of Lorraine, which is one of the highest orders of Freemasonry. Alcohol destroys the connection between your oversoul and your physical body by destroying brain cells, which then makes you more vulnerable for demons to enter your electromagnetic field and take control. Society is being ran by an ancient dark cult, which uses black magic and the dark usage of alcohol. Why do you think these are illegal and this is legal?
Speaking about alcohol being bad for us, let's check out the real mimosas.
Ladies, this is the real mimosa right here. And this will support your nervous system instead of destroying your nervous system like champagne and alcohol. And so this is what you want to get into your body. Thank you, Mimosa. Enjoy.
This is not health information. This is just a theory we are reacting to, by the way, for context. Who knew mimosa was an actual flower? Not just a, what was it, orange juice and champagne? No, it's a flower. Did you know that?
You ever caught one that big?
No, sir. No way. Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude.
Alright, here we go.
That looks like a coho. I like just going and watching them. You know, I can't imagine hooking one and fighting with a giant salmon. Coho is what we call it. Man, I haven't went fishing in so long. Speaking of fishing, even if you don't catch nothing, just being out there on the water, you know, just thinking, just being out in nature could just be so relaxing. But this spot right here, this is magical. Where is this spot at? Uh-oh, guys, look out. China successfully sent a new data relay satellite into orbit, an X-Ching Satellite Launch Center. And then it got hit by lightning. If that ain't God saying no more data relay satellites, I don't know what does.
Using the same technology that was here before and just pretending like it's all brand new. Where this place that we live is much different than we're being told. Where everything is reused. Everything is given back to us. Everything is one big cycle. Everything. The years go from January to December. Every year. Seasons, days, technology, and civilizations. Everything is one big cycle. So the last time we looked into Budapest, we saw this courtyard where they have this library, and it's right next to the Parliament building that we have talked about. It also has the Chocolate Museum and so much more, where today I want to show you all why.
Did he say Chocolate Museum? How come I'm not in it? No, I'm just kidding.
Budapest is my #1 location worldwide, and it's because nearly every single building is a palace. If there's one place in the world I would want to visit, this is it. And I would love to go inside these buildings and see if there's basements, and see if these basements had tunnels, windows, and doors that lead to dirt. I wouldn't be shocked at all. We see this kind of stuff in the USA, so seeing it in Budapest, I'm sure these tunnels would be incredible. I wouldn't be shocked at all if these buildings are bigger than we can see under the ground. So here we have another museum where they have taken the true meaning of this building right off the front. Where this gets interesting.
That was interesting. They just erased it like it was a whiteboard. I wonder what it originally was for.
Off the front. Where this gets interesting. They tell us that the past 150 years of this building's history have been largely determined by a struggle to maintain its facilities and keep its collection safe. Struggling to keep its collection safe? From who? Is there a reason that Budapest is still filled with palaces and the rest of the world has had thousands of fires in individual buildings that we have located? Thousands of buildings destroyed in so-called great fires. Carpet like we have seen in Dresden, Germany, where in my opinion, every single one of these major cities worldwide looked like Budapest. Budapest has survived all of these things. The great fires, the wars, and the rest. Is there something protecting this location? It's very interesting. And remember, this is the location that Nikola Tesla went and worked in 1881, where he was the chief electrician, and then went to the USA and had all of these incredible inventions. Now, were they inventions, or did he learn a few things while over in Budapest? Now, we have seen the exact same narrative before, using the same technology that was here before.
They tell us they're nothing more than just myth, despite the fact they have been depicted by nearly every culture and civilization since as far back as the 7th century BC. Now, what are the odds that all these civilizations from all corners of the world, with no communication allegedly between each other, all time and time again depicted these same creatures, put them on their maps, many maps depicting not just Blemmy, but many other mythical creatures. Well, creatures we've been told are nothing more than a myth. They even found tablets, like the Ostrakian tablet, which has depictions of the Blemmyes language. These artists, for hundreds and thousands of years, all across this realm, depicted exactly what they saw. Even the Greeks and Romans spoke in much length about the kingdoms of the Blemmy. But whatever happened to the Blemmy, and so many other creatures that we were told are just myth, but found so much evidence supporting otherwise. When humanity got bored of fighting each other for their differences, they turned their swords to the others, determined to pillage and conquer this world, all for our own. As seen in this painting and many other paintings, it wasn't just the Blemmy that we wiped out. Humanity's bloody history is nothing more than a set of lies agreed upon. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
Guys, it just hit me. Do you know who this reminds me of? Humpty Dumpty. We all know that rhyme. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. But what did he look like, though? He looked like something like this. It's that time of the day again. If you thought I wasn't going to hit you with another excellent specimen of the day, think again. Hey, Jason. Ooh. Man, are we getting hit with multiples? Okay. Oh, wow. Guys, I thought this was just one, but we getting a lot of amazing ones here. All high nines. I can't even, each one, I can't. I can't process it. It's too beautiful and too fast. Man. I don't know. This one right here. All right, let's do this one. or this one? Nah, let's do this one. This one's pretty cool. This was probably my favorite one. I'm gonna rate this one a 9.5, and I'm gonna call this the Sunset Vortex piece. 9.5 Sunset Vortex. I want to hear your names and your ratings below. And tell me your favorite out of all these, because they're, man. I wish I can go to a museum and see these. Honestly. This is a Illinois Fluorite. I don't know if it was an Illinois Fluorite Museum exhibition or what, man. Oh, look at that deep purple abyss. On this one, yeah, this is what I'll call this one, deep purple abyss. 9.5.
Do not search up what happened in the year 1913. That's the year they took over, and just 1 year later in 1914, World War I started. Actually, you might not even be able to search up what really happened in 1913 with mainstream search engines like Google. So instead, I head over to Emergent so we can make our own unfiltered, uncensored, and ad-free search engine that tells us everything. Just tell it something like, build me a search engine that filters out ads, paid search indexing, and shows us the deep buried info of the internet that popular search engines censor from us. It does some thinking, asks me a few questions, and okay, there we go. We just built Truth Search. Google debunkers, look away. Well, let's give it a shot. What really happened in the year 1913? Let's go. Okay, so just like most search engines, we have an AI summary at the top here, but don't worry, it seems to have added source links to each, so we don't get hallucinations or slop here. So first up, we got the Federal Reserve, which officially began on December 23rd, 1913, when President Woodrow Wilson signed the Federal Reserve Act into law. There's a source link, and yep, we have an overview of the Federal Reserve right there. Which, funny enough, the Federal Reserve happens to be neither federal nor a reserve, the misleading naming of which was actually very intentional. So what exactly is it? To put it simply, it's a centralized private bank that controls all of our money and determines its value. That's step one. Next, we have the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, the government's official extortion agency, aka give us money or we'll throw you in jail, that was also created in 1913. That's the year they started taxing us for good, making federal income tax permanent and by law with the 16th Amendment. For all the high IQ big brains out there, I think you know where this is going. If not, let me spell it out for you. Because that very same year, the Rockefeller Foundation was also created under the guise of philanthropy, making the world a better place, by John D. Rockefeller, America's first billionaire, while at the same time highly influencing the research and development of education, medicine, and science in the country through generous donations, leading to the creation of new organizations like the American Cancer Society, ACS, which was also founded in 1913, a charity funded by the richest people in the country to pave the way to the start of the pharmaceutical industry. Enter Big Pharma. The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which tells people what they can and can't talk about, censoring ideas they don't agree with and silencing critics, was also created in, let's hear you say it, 1913. And then just a year later in 1914, we get the start of World War I, the first war in history in which private companies profited from wartime efforts.
All this just in 3 years? Man, it almost seems calculated, doesn't it?
Say hello to the military-industrial complex, giving the newly formed Federal Reserve the perfect excuse to start printing more money, leading to the decline of the value of the US dollar ever since. And yeah, we can see that right here in this chart, which starts and was at its peak in 1913. We can also see in this buying power equivalent chart for $100, meaning higher is worse, that for hundreds of years up until the creation of the Fed, the value of money remained pretty much stable until we hit 1913, where it's been skyrocketing into worthlessness ever since. This basically means that what we could have bought for $100 way back when, we now have to pay closer to $2,000 for the same value. Inflation, which started in 1913. Well,
didn't they say in like the book of Revelations that like for an entire day's wage would be cost of one loaf of bread? So I'm not saying we're there yet, but man, at this rate, how much longer?
while they try to convince us that it's a normal thing that every economy experiences. And the craziest part is that a year before, in 1912, when talks about forming the Federal Reserve were going on, there were 3 prominent bankers who strongly opposed its formation: John Jacob Astor IV, Isidor Strass, and Benjamin Guggenheim, who were setting sail across the Atlantic to America in discussion of the Federal Reserve on a ship owned by J.P. Morgan, who was in favor of the Fed and was supposed to join them on their journey but backed out last second. That ship that set sail was the Titanic, which sank and those 3 bankers perished, finalizing the creation of the Federal Reserve that controls all of your money. If anyone ever asks who they are, well, this is exactly who. 1913 in a nutshell. And if you want to create your own apps that filter past the censorship of big tech search engines, or just about any other app idea you can come up with, try out Emergent for an easy way for you and I to seek the truth.
All right, let's see what he's got here. He's got some type of juicer. Okay. All-in-one juicer. He's got some electric knife. Oh, wow. So it vibrates and charges. That's cheating. Okay. He's got this baby garbage bag. I don't know who's going to get that much garbage. Okay. It looks like some type of filter that goes out of air. A water generator. That's new.
Fresh drinking water per day just using moisture from the air, which I had no idea was possible. This is my countertop garden that grows different types of microgreens, waters them every 90 minutes, and they're ready to eat in under 7 days. This
I would have straight cilantro. Go back to it. That's a pretty cool idea. I would have nothing but cilantro going there because I'll be tearing some salsa up, man. You guys want to know the secret salsa recipe? If you ever tried to make some salsa, you need not regular jalapenos, pickled jalapenos. That's the secret when you make your salsa. Get crushed, sliced tomatoes in the can. You can flame it and chop it up yourself, but if you're in a rush, you can just get you a can, some cilantro and some onions. Man, you blend that all together with a little bit of salt. Man, you'll never buy salsa again. That's why I'm looking at this like, man, I'll put nothing but cilantro up there.
them every 90 minutes and they're ready to eat in under 7 days. This rice maker has a built-in scale which it uses to automatically dispense the right amount of water and even lets me steam veggies at the same time. This Tupperware...
Wow. That rice maker's next level. It almost feels like they're cheating. It automatically levels the water for you. How amazing. Oh, a Tupperware vacuum. I don't know who's saving marshmallows. Compact juicer, okay. You can use that stuff there. That's great nutrients for your soil, by the way, that stuff over there. But I'm trying to figure out, what is this thing right here? This ultraviolet portal drink stand. What is it? Charging the drink up with ions?
I've never seen that. Oh my gosh, that's so cool to see it. A new one. See them? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've not seen before. They're usually all orange. Or orange and a little green. Ah. I've never seen that. Oh my.
Just seeing one hummingbird is pretty amazing. You got a whole festival going, Hummingbird Festival. Oh man, you know they love it. For them to be able to spot one, I think they're probably talking about that one, that yellow one. They're like, man, have you seen that yellow one? We ain't seen that one before. This is living. Sitting on your porch watching birds. I bet you that's good for they be eating all types of bugs and insects all around their home. Very beneficial if you ask me. I wouldn't mind trying to plant some butterfly plants. I tried last year, man, but I don't know if I didn't plant it deep enough or what. It died. But I'm gonna try again doing some more butterfly plants. But while it was alive, I saw more hummingbirds get attracted to my butterfly plant than actual butterflies. I don't know if like the hummingbirds like the nectar on it or what. that's all we got for today's video. If you made it all the way to the end of this video, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It helps your boy out, helps get this into more like-minded people, and go ahead and drop the code word in the comments below. Today's code word is hidden history. Go ahead and drop hidden history in the comments below. When you do that, that lets me know you're a real one. You made it all the way to the end of the video and you really rock with me. And I'll be reading the comments, all you guys saying, you know, extremely generous stuff. And I just want to say thank you so much. You know, you guys are so extremely kind and generous with your words. I say, man, this is my friends, my community. You know what I'm saying? Like, we neck deep in these waters together. You know, they be all types of blasphemy and you know, all crazy stuff we be doing in these waters, man. But hey, we be keeping our head on the swivel, but we know the truth out here. And I just want to say thank you guys so much. You guys stay blessed, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow. It's out every single day, you know. But I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying. I love you guys, and I'm gonna see you soon. Peace out.